Okay, here's the Plessey radio systems, the PR2250. This is the N version. I've recently picked this up a few months ago, and it had a few DC power supply problems and a few connector problems, but basically it's operational now. There's still a few more cosmetic issues to do with the switches here, which I need to fix up, but basically the receiver's operating as it should do. It's an unusual design. It has a swinging front panel here, which is hinged along this edge, and the whole front panel swings out, and it allows access to all the internal modules, which are like a Euro card assembly inside. This was produced in the early 1980s, from what I can make out. It has some systems here which allow you to store up to 16 memories, and if I zoom in a little bit on this over here, maybe you can have a look at it. Yeah, so it's showing just channel number 3 now. You can store, recall and select channel 3. Below here are a number of auxiliary filters you can call in. The unusual thing about this particular receiver is that it not only just has the standard upper and lower sidebands, but it has some symmetric and asymmetric filters which were designed for some of the data modes that were current at the time. And I'll just take a bit of a walk through here. I'll come in a bit closer onto the display. It's a 7-segment display, as you can see. Currently it's on 10 meters, and there's a bit of an opening right now. Just to look a little bit there. And we've got the United States coming through here. I'm currently based in Brisbane. So just going through the screen, we've got a in-lock lamp, obviously the frequency you're currently tuned to. You've got a complete rotational set on the meter here, which allows you to monitor the local oscillator drive. There's an AFC 0-beat facility. There's a number of power supplies, very similar to the RACALs of the day. I think Plessey and RACAL were really the two main competing companies at the time, producing receivers of similar quality and standard, all with similar facilities. I'll just turn that down a little bit there. So as you can see, the meter's just kicking over here a little bit. It's picking up off the vertical outside. There's a tuning rate. Currently I've got it inhibited. I'll activate the tuning rate, and you can see it's on fast or slow. Each of the buttons has an LED above it which allows you to identify what's been selected, and of course as you'd expect, as you tune around, you can actually see the frequency moves there. So let's just see if there's anything else on frequency today. There was a rather large signalled Hawaiian guy earlier on, I noticed. I'm not sure there's anything around there. No, it's probably a little bit quieter now. But you can see the basic concept here of tuning both fast and slow. That's the fast tuning rate. Just want to find that those signals going around. And as you see, as common with synthesizers of the time, it glitches occasionally as it tunes around. I think that's fairly standard. And of course you can lock off the frequency display again there now, so it's perfectly locked. This receiver, as was most of the time, or most of the receivers at the time, had both a local and a remote facility, so you could actually put it into a remote status and remote control it. I think it was RS232 on this particular set. I have no reason to believe why this one wouldn't do it, but I haven't actually got it set up for the moment. And over to the right is a speaker. It's quite a good speaker. It gives a good sound output from the front panel. And again, you can inhibit it or activate it. And we've got a power on-off standby switch here. So we're actually in the off position. It's still, or should I say in the standby position, it still allows the, as you can see, it still allows the low voltage supply which powers the main frequency standard. Hang on, I'll leave it back on again for the moment. Underneath the main tuning dial here are the array of modes. Obviously you can run through them and you'll probably hear them change. So you've got the AM, CW, upper or lower sideband, an ISB which then allows you to select upper or lower, and an FSK mode. So this is going to FSK and you can hear it coming in. And this is where these auxiliary buttons all come into play. Anyway, let's go back to upper sideband for the moment. And as you can see, moving to the left of the screen, you've got a main keyboard there, which you can enter frequencies. For instance, if you would like to enter WWV on 15 megahertz, it's this one here, it's the button there, and if you go to tune, not sure it's coming through today, have a listen. Just hear a little bit of a beat there. No, it's not too strong. Let's try on. There's a 10 kc offset here. Okay. So no, nothing there either. But as you could hear, the 20 megahertz band was quite open. I'll turn the sound down there. I will have one last look at some of the shortwave and show you the facility to lock off on the AFC facility. So we'll go 1.5. Sorry, correction. So I've got to remember to put the dot in. So unusual. You've got to put it in kilohertz. So it's 15, 7, 20 point, and there you go. So that is actually Radio New Zealand. So that's us travelling a few thousand miles across for today, and as you can see, AM is actually in the I think it's 8 kilohertz selection on this particular receiver. It just defaults to that filter, and of course you've got the usual long, medium, or short AGC. We'll effectively turn it off completely. We'll keep it back onto medium. And what I was going to show you was the fact that here you have a reinsert facility, and you turn it down and select upper sideband, and as you would expect, you can resolve it as it's on tune. However, if you go to the 0 beat, you can see the meter here slightly warbling. It means it's a few hertz off. So if you now engage the main reinsert carrier, it locks on. The meter actually stops warbling around, and you can actually be perfectly locked to the main carrier. And again, upper or lower sideband, down here. There we go. You can hear no difference at all, really. Perfectly set up. It actually very surprised me the performance of this receiver, and I've done a lot of tuning around on it since getting it operational. Very impressive actually. My favourite receiver up to now has been the 1772, and this comes pretty close. It actually gets over one of the audio issues with the 1772 with its small speaker. This has got a nice clear audio. I love the display. It's a beautiful, bright, easy to read display. The keyboards I'm not that particularly happy with. RACAL tried that with their 1792 series. I never really liked the feel or touch of a keyboard on the front of a unit, but having said that, that's basically the way they went. And as you can see, there have been some keys here actually snapped off. I'll get to replace those in due time. But anyway, this is the Plessey 2250, and I'd say very impressed with its performance. Just thought I'd give a bit of a talk through.